Hey, my name is Justin Hadlock, owner of the Murder Art Collective and the Murder Mentality online coaching and speaking business. Today, I want to talk to the tattoo clients of the world out there and answer some questions that are frequently asked and some things that I think kind of will hopefully dispel some of the mystery around getting a tattoo. First of all, so we're just gonna go with some do's and don'ts. Some of the basics, I know this seems like it should be pretty clear cut, but it's unfortunately not, so I'm gonna put it out there. Please shower the day of your appointment. I can't tell you how many times I've been tattooing somebody and body odor has been a problem, and it's very difficult to concentrate on your tattoo if I'm sitting there the whole time like eyes watering or your feet stink or whatever else. I promise you I could tell you horror stories for days about this, okay? And that goes for you artists out there too. Please make sure your breath smells good. Make sure that you smell good and stuff like that. You guys are sitting right next to each other for hours. This is just a common courtesy thing, all right? 2, be prepared for the process to take some time. I think that good tattoo artists are gonna take the time to get to know you. They're gonna take the time to make sure that we have your design correct, that it's customized just for you, that we're not tracing it off of somebody else's tattoo, so you have a one-of-a-kind piece. And that means that sometimes it might take a little bit longer to get started than you think. So plan for a few hours after whenever your appointment is supposed to end. If you have a 3-hour appointment, plan for at least 5 or 6 hours just to make sure you're not trying to rush out of the chair. Nothing is more detrimental to the tattoo process than trying to rush stuff. 3, we touched on this a second ago. Don't walk into a tattoo shop expecting to get somebody else's tattoo. When I say that, I mean like when you show me that Pinterest tattoo and you're like, I want this one. Well, that's already somebody else's tattoo. And I personally, like as an artist, my integrity requires that I don't just tattoo somebody else's piece on you. That's not fair to the artist who designed that piece. It's not fair to the person who's wearing it. It's not fair to you. And more importantly, when I'm taking a picture off of a tattoo and trying to trace it or something, that person's body has curves on it. And so it's gonna distort the image and it's never gonna look as good as it did on that first person. So it's good to bring reference photos in and say, I would like something like this, but it's bad to say, I want this one. And people that are willing to just trace and copy it, I think it's usually kind of a bad look and a bad indicator as far as how much that person cares about your stuff. I highly recommend that you get any kind of tattoos you get have a deep meaning. Explain that to your artist, explain what's important. But number 4, be very open to artistic interpretation. You're coming to this person because you trust their art. If you don't trust them, don't go to them. And so I recommend that you take their advice. You listen to what they have to say about how your tattoo should be designed so it's going to age the best, it's going to have the most emotional impact, it's going to look the nicest, and it's just going to be a good experience altogether. 5, definitely make sure you bring money for a tip. I personally don't worry about this that much. I've over the years tried to kind of learn how to price myself in such a way that I don't feel like tips are necessary, but I also own the studio that I work at. And so I do need to put it out there that most tattoo shops, those artists make a percentage of what they charged you, and then the rest of it goes to the shop. So that being said, that means that when you're paying that artist, they're not getting all of the money that you're paying them. And it's very, very good etiquette to tip somebody, 15, 20%. I've had people tip me as much as $600 before. That's obviously when they're very, very happy or they just, they're really feeling it. But I usually say that at least a $50 tip most times, for anything that's over $100 is a reasonable amount. It'll definitely show that artist that you care about the job they did. And that person, if you go back to them, will fucking remember that. And I promise you, just like servers, when you tip servers well and they remember you, tattoo artists do as well. Please, I know that it should go without saying, but I feel like I do need to say it because it still happens relatively often. Don't come in fucked up. Don't come in high. Don't come in drunk. Don't come in zanned out, all that stuff. I know people say, oh, well, it relaxes me more. I'm going to go ahead and call bullshit. After 20 years of doing this, the people who I see, unless they're fucking zanned out of their gourd, unless they're just straight shithouse, which you shouldn't be tattooed anyway at that point in time because you make poor decisions when you're that fucked up. Those people don't sit as well as they think they do. I actually think it makes it more painful because they're less able to calm themselves down. They're less in their right frame of mind. And as a whole, every time I've had a client be straight messed up, it makes the session so much more stressful. And on top of that, personally, I used to smoke. I don't anymore. I don't judge people that do. I don't like the look or feel of having my whole shop stink like weed. So, if you do smoke, use some deodorant, use some, some spray or whatever. Make it so you're literally not stinking up the whole place because you like to smoke. These are pretty basic I definitely recommend you talk to the artist that you're going to be getting your piece from in order to get some more information and ask how they like to do business. And that'll be the last one I suggest is really ask the artist, what are your policies? What are your procedures? How do you do this? All those things. And you'll get an answer about how that person likes to be dealt with. And if you set boundaries and they set boundaries, then we can come to a very easy agreement about what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, and how that's going to work. And if they don't meet up, then we don't have to do business, and it's no big deal. But that way, when they're all out front, we know exactly what we're signing up for, and we know exactly what we're going to get. And hopefully that'll help dispel some of the myths, some of the weirdness about that stuff. And good luck with your tattoos, guys.